I'm here with Philip Spearman, Product Marketing Manager at Cervelo. Thank you for joining us, and we've got a really special bike that we're going to take a closer look at.
Yeah, we're super excited about this. This is the 2020 Cervelo Aspero gravel bike. I think it's been a long time coming. People have been wanting it quite a while, and we're super happy to launch it today.
So what are the main features of this new model?
Well, I think the interesting thing about the gravel market for us is trying to understand exactly what it is, where it is. And it's typical kind of Cervelo stuff where we really sat back and watched how the market was unfolding and tried to understand where it was that we could enter that market and make a difference. The direction we decided to go with the Aspero was to engineer a really fast gravel bike. It's more like similar to a road geometry in the sense that what we really wanted was a similarity between the way your road bike feels on the road and your gravel bike feels when you ride on gravel. So we don't want that vast difference between the two bikes. We want the same kind of excitement, same kind of acceleration, but at the same time managing it through stability options and making sure the center of gravity is low and the bike is really capable off-road.
So you picked up a little bit on it there, but how does this bike differ from the C range that already exists?
So interestingly enough, in some ways, I guess the C was the start of this story, as it has been, for the last couple of generations of bikes. C for us it marked a transition in the way we were engineering bikes from talking only about the quantifiable stuff, weight, stiffness, and aero, and start really focusing on ride quality. And this is, one of the reasons that it's so difficult to identify what a gravel bike is that it's different in every region. It's different in the UK than it is in Canada, than it is in different parts of the US, in Spain. Like everywhere that gravel is kind of happening, it's a very different use case in a lot of ways. And it just depends on how we define gravel.
So what sets this bike apart from other gravel bikes on the market? What's the difference? What's the main thing?
The main thing is that we really targeted high performance. We wanted to build a really fast gravel bike. Tire choice is really driving a lot of decisions people make. So whereas one area people are riding 43s or 40 mil tires, in another area they might be riding 35s or 38s. You've got cyclocross rolling into there. And all of these tires, when they're this big, have a profound impact on the way the bike handles. What we wanted to do was make sure that the bike we built managed those transitions between tire sizes smoothly. Because a lot of bikes, they might come with a 40 mil tire, but then you change that tire size and you change the bike fundamentally. So I think the biggest sort of feature that sets apart our bike is that we have a fork offset that allows you to move the axle fore-aft by 5 millimeters. And what this does for us is allow us to kind of maintain, or allow the rider to kind of maintain what we call the design trail, which is we designed the bike to have around 62 millimeters of trail. When you're swapping between a 28 and a 25, that doesn't have a profound effect on trail. But when you're talking about moving from like a 35 to a 43, it really is such a big tire size change that you changed completely the way the bike handles. So what we did was functionally built a 5 mil offset insert that allows you to move the wheel fore-aft and adjust the trail according to the wheel size you're using. So if the bike ships with a 40 mil tire, that's around a 700 OD tire, 7 to 710, which is also like a 43 that's got some sag in it because it's running a lower pressure, 40 PSI or something. That bike sits in the forward position of the offset at 62 mil. If you decide you're going to swap it out for a 33 or a 35 mil tire, which is nominally around 675, 680 OD, then you switch the flip chip around, the trail mix around, and move the wheel back to offset that. So that 5 millimeter offset means you put the wheel back at 62, or you put the trail back at 62 millimeters of trail. So the bike handles exactly the same as it does with a big tire as it does with a smaller tire. The other thing that's really cool is that if you run a smaller tire, say a 35 or 33, and you run the chip in the other side, so you run the forward position, you end up with a trail number of 57, which is around the same as an R5. The other thing we did, we extended the top tube by about a centimeter. And the reason we did that was just for a little bit more stability. It really kind of harkens back to some old mountain bike geometry choices that were being made, and actually some current ones, whereas that longer top tube allows you on steeper descents to get your center of gravity a little bit better, so you're not scrubbing the wheel when you're coming down. We have obviously drop chain stays, which gives us a little bit more tire clearance, and then the bike is set up to handle both 650B and 700C, and we've got 59 millimeters of clearance for the 650B size, which allows you like a 52 millimeter tire, or that sort of 2.1, 2.2. And we've got about 53 millimeters of clearance for the 700C style, so you're up to about a 50.
That makes it totally capable. Like you can take
pretty
it
much anything you want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I really like that idea and how you've designed it as one bike. Yeah. But if people have other personal preferences, or even depending on the type of terrain, or people do different riding different times of year. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and that's one of the interesting things, because we designed it like it's a 420 mil chainstay on it, which is very kind of, it falls in line with performance road bike standards, as opposed to some of the bikes out there that get out to 435, 445 chainstay lengths. So you have a very long wheelbase bike. This, when you run a small tire on it, like a 28 or a 30, you've really got almost your road bike back.
So thank you so much, Philip, for joining us. It's great to have you back again. Thanks. And yeah, it's a really cool bike. We're looking forward to seeing it in the shop and people getting out on it.
We encourage it. There's going to be a demo fleet rattling around too, so I hope that people can try it out and really kind of feel the difference.
Cool. So if you want to check out more of the range, make sure you click the link down below, and make sure you subscribe, as we'll have more videos coming very soon.